So think about this for a second. How does one company with just a single decision completely take over the digital world of a country with over a billion people? Well, this is that story. This is the story of Jio and how a 6-year secret plan launched an all-out war for the future of India's internet. It all comes down to this one day, September 5th, 2016. India's richest man, Mukesh Ambani, steps onto a stage in Mumbai, and he makes an announcement that doesn't just send shockwaves through the market, it creates a tsunami. He's there to unveil his new company, Jio, and he reveals the price for its brand new cutting-edge 4G data service. And that price? Zero. Zilch. Absolutely free. I mean, the offer was just unbelievably simple and brutally effective. You get free data. You get free calls for months. And with that one sentence, the entire telecom industry in India was changed forever. But here's the thing. This was no spur-of-the-moment decision. What looked like a sudden, brilliant move was actually the final step in a meticulously planned 6-year ambush. It was a long, quiet, and incredibly expensive operation. Which, of course, brings up the big question. How on earth did one company manage to build a state-of-the-art, nationwide 4G network pretty much completely under the radar? Well, the story actually starts way back in 2010. For 6 long years, while all of its competitors were just focused on their day-to-day business, Reliance was in what they called a silent build-out phase. They were laying the foundation piece by massive piece. And the amount of money they poured into this, it's just staggering. 1.5 lakh crore rupees. That's about 20 billion US dollars. And get this, all of it was invested before they'd earned a single rupee of revenue. It was one of the biggest bets in business history. So what did all that cash actually buy them? Well, it bought them an army, basically. 40,000 engineers, 100,000 cell towers, and enough fiber optic cable to wrap around the entire planet more than 6 times. It was a complete arsenal, built and ready before day one. And here's the really brilliant part of the strategy. They didn't just launch in one big city and then slowly expand. Nope. They went everywhere, all at once. By the time Ambani made that free announcement, the network was already up and running, covering almost the entire nation. There was literally nowhere for the competition to hide. So the trap was sprung, the network was live, and the result for the existing companies? Well, it was nothing short of a total bloodbath. You want to talk about growth? In just 6 months, by March of 2017, Jio signed up 100 million subscribers. That's the fastest any company in any industry anywhere on Earth had ever reached that number. The speed was just unreal. The market map was completely redrawn. Jio's subscriber numbers went from 0 to over 400 million, like a rocket ship. At the same time, its biggest rivals either flatlined or just saw their user bases completely collapse. So how'd they do it? Well, the competition screamed bloody murder, and they accused Jio of using a tactic called predatory pricing. Now, the idea is pretty simple. You set your prices so incredibly low that your competitors simply can't afford to match you. In a country like India, where data used to be expensive, offering it for free wasn't just competitive, it was a knockout punch. Rivals had to just bleed cash, hoping they could survive long enough. So that brings up a really important question. We know what Jio charged its customers, which was nothing, but what did that free offer actually cost its rivals? The damage was catastrophic. Airtel lost billions of dollars in revenue. Vodafone and Idea, these were 2 separate giants. They were forced into a desperate merger just to stay alive. The entire Indian telecom market, which used to be pretty competitive, was transformed almost overnight. But here's the twist in the story. All that chaos, the price wars, the companies going under, that wasn't actually the goal. It was all just a side effect of the real master plan. You see, the free SIM card, the free data, that was just the key to a door. The real prize was what was waiting on the other side. This was never, ever just about being a phone company. It's a classic playbook, really, a 3-step platform strategy. First, you acquire a massive number of users with an offer they literally can't refuse. Second, you lock them in by building a whole ecosystem of apps and services that they start to rely on. And third, once they're locked in, you monetize that massive audience by selling them everything else under the sun. And that's exactly what they built.
That free SIM was just the gateway. It got you into their whole world. Movies on Jio Cinema, shopping on JioMart, music, home internet, you name it. An entire digital empire built right on the back of that free data.
This whole strategy really has a name: using a platform as a weapon. You create this huge user base at a very low cost, in this case, free, and then you use that audience as leverage to go and attack and dominate totally different industries, whether it's entertainment or e-commerce. So what's the big takeaway from all this? The story of Jio is no doubt a masterclass in business strategy, but it's also a powerful reminder of a fundamental truth in the digital world. When the product is free, you really have to stop and ask yourself, what is actually being sold? In this case, it was never the data. The real product was you.